Next, we're going to be joined by Jeremey Nelson, head of the University of Michigan's XR initiative. Jeremey leads the university's efforts to seed new projects and experiments that integrate XR into residential and online curriculum, and to create innovative public-private partnerships to develop XR-related educational technology. Prior to U of M, Jeremey was co-founder of AFIA, an Ann Arbor-based healthcare tech company. So let's welcome Jeremey to the stage.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here today. Great crowd. Yeah, thanks, Paul. So I'm Jeremey Nelson. I'm the director of an extended reality initiative. This is a startup-style initiative at the University of Michigan. And we had 3 charges when we were started to bring XR technology. So XR is an overarching phrase that refers to augmented, virtual, and mixed reality technologies, to bring these to the classroom, to bring these to the residential experience on campus, to bring them to the online curricula, and to create those innovative public-private partnerships. So our initiative lives within the Center for Academic Innovation, which is a group on campus that's been responsible for a lot of the digital education transformation, creating a lot of massive open online courses, coordinating with faculty across campus to create open free courses on the Coursera platform, edX, and FutureLearn. As of this week, I think we've had over 10 million unique learners take a University of Michigan produced course, and over 16 million enrollments in those courses. So very interesting challenges to bring augmented and virtual reality to that space, but we're up for the challenge. Before I started, there were already a number of activities happening across campus. A really interesting and unique one was a faculty and Matthew Solomon in the film, TV, and media department that worked with a group on campus to recreate the last scene of Citizen Kane in VR. And the students can actually go into a headset and move the camera around and reshoot the last scene of the film, and then export that out and turn it in as a project. One of our faculty in the med school and in the Michigan Medicine Hospital, Dr. Mark Cohen, in the midst of COVID, one of the big challenges was students weren't able to do the medical rounds or the ward rounds with the physician, so they were losing that time. And so they were able to wear a HoloLens, which is a headset that you can see through that projects holographic images into your space, into the patient room, and all of the students could join from Zoom or Teams and see what he sees and communicate with the patient. And then in his view, he could bring up the medical record, CT scan, x-rays, things like that. And then a really unique experience that I got to participate in was Professor Sarah Blair. She's an English professor and taught a course called Novels in Virtual Realities. And so they read novels in short-form content and then went into VR to explore those different perspectives to understand, now that the world is being created for you, what does that mean in terms of your discussion? We have a curriculum at the university, so we actually have an XR graduate certificate, so any student in a master's program can enroll for an XR graduate certificate. So they've taken additional 12 credits, they do some internships, a capstone project, and they can earn a certificate. This last year, we actually created one of these massive open online courses with our team called Extended Reality for Everybody. This is a free course you can take. If you want to earn a certificate, you can pay for that, but it's really focused on the knowing, doing, and shaping the future of XR. And you can find that on Coursera today. I hope this will play. Oh, it didn't play. Okay, so this is a quick example. So one of the faculty actually teaches in VR, so there's an application called Tilt Brush, and he's in that application kind of teaching you about creating interaction design in 3D space. One of the things I'm most proud of, and with generous support from Spark, we were able to hire some students this last summer. So we hire students into our team. So I have a team of 2 full-time developers, and then we've hired over 30 students in this last year and a half to help us create experiences for faculty on campus. And so we, with our 2 full-time staff and partner with faculty, we've created a number of augmented and virtual reality experiences for courses. And so we have students from all across the university, from architecture and business and art, education, engineering, School of Information. And this last year, a couple of our students, an art student and an architecture student, recreated the diag in 3D. And now that's available for us on a platform called AltSpace. And so that's an event we held last year where we had over 200 people from around the world meet up on our virtual diag. And so now they're doing a North Campus part, and they've done the law library, and so we're trying to recreate the campus in 3D. And so the approach that we've taken is a seed fund approach. And so faculty actually pitch us ideas on how they want to use XR technologies in the classroom. And so then we fund those projects through in-kind support from our students and our full-time developers, and or funding that they can hire their own students and purchase some hardware. So in the first year and a half, we've actually received 31 proposals, and we funded 22 of those from 11 of the 19 schools on campus. So really strong interest, a lot of interesting, unique opportunities. As you can see here, some of the engineering, architecture, nursing, the health sciences, those spaces that are already doing simulation, already kind of thinking in 3D, were the most interested in this work. We funded 4 large VR projects that we built from scratch. And so we're using the Unreal Engine to do most of our development. So there's Unity and Unreal are kind of the 2 main video game platforms to develop extended reality experiences. We did one for the nursing school called Getting Under the Skin. It's a chemotherapy simulation for nursing students. We're recreating a physics lab for the Physics 141 course on campus. We're recreating the nuclear reactor that had been on North Campus for over 50 years. It's still there. It's not active. We're not bringing it back. We're not creating a new one. And an application called Augmented Tectonics with our College of Architecture, where the faculty teaches students how to design and build with materials like steel, glass, concrete, and wood. So they teach the lecture, and then now the students can go into VR and explore those spaces in kind of a one-to-one scale. It's often hard to bring 100 students onto a construction site to see how things actually are in the one-to-one size. And so the goal of the chemotherapy simulation was really to teach the proper delivery of chemotherapy and what can happen if the chemotherapy is not delivered correctly. The drug can actually leak out under the skin and cause all these lesions, and you don't see it right away. So there's some interesting things we did to teach how to put on and take off PPE, where to place the port, and then there's this, she had the concept of the magic school bus, and so she wanted to kind of go in under the skin and see what happens. So we were able to create those animations, and you take the person into that level. The nuclear reactor that I mentioned, so this was very exciting. We had 2 freshman students create the 3D model of the reactor based on blueprints and photographs from the reactor that's on North Campus. And so now we can do interesting things like have students go in and run the simulations that they maybe would have run years ago, but then go do things like go into the reactor core and see what's happening at that level where you wouldn't do that in real life because you would die. So we don't want that. But in VR, we can do really interesting things. Similarly, in this physics lab, the first experiment that they wanted to explore was projectile motion. And so the faculty said, we've been launching hockey pucks across the room for 50 years. And so I want to do something different. So let's launch rockets. Let's launch them in different places to see the effects of gravity. So we can go to the moon and launch and see what the gravity effect is there. We can go to Mars and launch them from there. From a technical standpoint, what was really an interesting challenge for us to solve was the students usually run the experiments, take their lab notes of the data points, and then they go graph them or do something else with it. Well, it's not that easy to get data out of VR back into a space you can do the work on. So we were able to create this, what we're calling a trans-reality notebook. And we were able to connect to Google Drive and save the data from the experiments into a Google Sheet the students can then access when they get out of the headset. So it's a pretty interesting technical challenge. And then this Augmented Tectonics, really proud of this work. The faculty hired 2 grad students that created all of the 3D environments and all of the meshes. And so it really looks high quality. We weren't sure when we went into this project, like we had a very small scope, and then the faculty's like, oh, I want to have 5 pavilions, and I want to have all of these design experiments. And I'm like, we didn't really sign up for that. But they said, well, we're architects. We'll build all the 3D models. We already do that today. And so it's been a really interesting collaboration where their team is in our daily stand-ups, they're working within our Jira task tracking system, they're in Unreal Engine, they're doing source control, so it's been a really interesting collaboration as if they were working for a professional studio. During the pandemic, we were all remote, obviously, and I wanted to keep the momentum going, so we ran another round of funding. And in this round, I required the faculty to bring a commercial authoring tool to their proposal. So So we didn't have the capacity to continue to build all of these VR experiences. They take a lot of time. So we wanted to keep that going, and we funded 14 new projects, 10 of them around, well, I said 11, but 10 around 360-degree video, so interactive 360-degree video, where you can actually use voice recognition to do branching logic and some really interesting things with soft skill development and natural, like the geology department wants to explore rocks and kind of do some really interesting stuff that they do out in the Grand Canyon. And then additionally during the pandemic, so we had a large lab on campus where students can come, but that wasn't available. So we purchased a number of Oculus Quest wireless headsets and made them available for checkout to students through the library. We followed COVID safety protocols, and we got that clean box there that you can actually use as UV light to kill any germs, and we have a whole protocol to keep those clean. Yeah, thank you.